Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sovereign Village Project. I don't know if the audio will cut through on this right now because it is a loud part of the city here, and it is might be a little hard for the audio to cut through. So just let me know if you can't hear me, if it's too distracting, and we will not continue the live video here. But if you actually can hear me, do let me know that as well during this talk here. I kind of want to just take the opportunity to show everybody some of the development we talk about when we talk about smart cities or pod housing or any of these new Agenda 21 or 2030 developments. We're sitting in one here. This is owned by a giant old 1800s company that's currently, I think, chaired, or the vice chair is from the Bank of England. So, just deep, dark money involved in these kind of projects, and very much tied to the central banks. And this is one of their sustainable smart cities. I know it looks very sustainable and very natural. You can actually see a bit of green over there on the other side of the street. I think those are fake bushes, but they might be real growing out the gravel there. But this is a green, smart, sustainable city, and this is the future, so take a good look at it. This is owned by, I think it's Brookfield Partners, Brookfield Assets or something like that, big New York company. Anyway, so I'm sitting here in between my shows here in Nashville today, and I thought I'd do a video from here if possible, because it's just kind of fun. It's this is when we all grew up reading dystopian novels and such. This is kind of like what I envisioned the dystopian Dome City to be like, whether that was Logan's Run or some other one of those other great sci-fi films or books. I kind of feel like I come to Nashville and I play in the seedy underbelly of the Dome City, and then I leave. But I enjoy observing humanity and seeing where we're going here. It's quite a trippy place. But this is my coffee break, and I thought we'd try to do a live and just talk about current events today because they're very interesting. Most notably, Facebook is down today, among many tech problems happening just across the nation and globally. And it uniquely coincides with the supposed whistleblower. I forget her name, but Frances something. The news has been carrying everywhere in the mainstream that there's been a whistleblower from Facebook. And she's not whistleblowing anything. There's nothing illegal or anything like that. She's just saying that Facebook cared more about profit than monitoring people's speech and making sure they didn't say anything they weren't supposed to, like, medical misinformation or anything that conflicts with the narrative. And so she's calling, this whistleblower is calling desperately for just a little bit of government censorship of free speech on Facebook. They really need the government to come in and monitor social media. And it's obviously all a farce. It's obviously a psyops. This is one of their people who is trying to promote this narrative that the government should restrict speech. But in order to draw attention to the story, they've shut off Facebook. So everyone, desperate for their fix, their dopamine release that comes from Facebook, they go Google what's wrong with Facebook. They see these news articles, so that way they're sure to read that story about this whistleblower. So you can really see the machinations of the machine here as they cram this idea down our throats that it's just too dangerous for people to be allowed to talk freely like we're doing right now. We can't have that. We can't have people talking freely. I mean, really, in these new dystopian developments like this is one of those mixed residential, commercial, retail type places where you don't have to leave the place. You can work there. You can live there. You don't need to have a car. You're stuck there. You're trapped there. It's the future. And I can barely hear right now. I'm yelling over this music, and that's how all of these places are designed. You can't talk, you can't think. It's designed to keep you in this just perpetual state of screaming, much like you're in a bar, although I'm just trying to be at a coffee shop right now, but everywhere you go, the music is blasting loud. And it's kind of a metaphor for what's happening at the larger level. They just don't want people gathering, they don't want people talking, because, let's be honest, if a bunch of people got together and started talking, they'd be talking revolution. We were on, as Gabby and I went on a little trip the other day, we were talking to some just random strangers we met at a distillery. Within 5 minutes, they said the word revolution. And that's how common this already is in the mainstream. People are already really ready to throw off the yoke of tyranny. Not that I advocate revolution. I kind of think we should see where this goes. I want to see bigger dome cities. I want to see true dystopia here. This is really fun and exciting. Of course, I'm being facetious about everything. But this particular development is called 5th and Broadway. It's just a fascinating place because this is the vision of utopia for the societal planners, the people who believe that they are worthy of planning society. They believe that society needs to be planned. They are the ones who should centrally manage everything. This is what their utopian paradise for us looks. And it's kind of nice. The coffee is actually pretty good. You can't pay in cash anywhere here. Not one of these many businesses anywhere here, not one of them takes cash. The developers don't seem to allow it. Keep in mind again that these developers are a company called Brookfield, which is a very old company that is very much intertwined with central banking. Like I said earlier, the vice chair came directly from running the Bank of London. So the people that are building these dome cities, metaphorically speaking, these Agenda 21 pod housing type cities, those people are central bankers. I just Googled this because this is next to the place I work. And sure enough, you can look up the Wikipedia article on the company that made this development. They're central bankers. When a conspiracy theorist says the word they, this is the they they're talking about, and this is what they build. To be honest, I'm saying, it's nice, the coffee's nice, but it's a terrible place. And I can't imagine living here in one of these towers. It looks like a prison. But anyway, I thought I'd show everybody the alternative to homesteading. This is where we would get to be. We have some great folks in here. Wesley, obviously a psychological author. Didn't know Facebook was down, didn't really care. Yeah, nor should any of us care. It's a good wake-up call for Gabby and I. We're already removing ourselves from social media, but it's clear that eventually this too, YouTube, this channel will be taken down. And I'm not really trying to necessarily pull my audience to other platforms. I probably will get Rumble or some of those others, but really I want to get people on the mailing list, because if things go down, it's still going to be easier to email people if I have a physical list stored somewhere, even if I have to do a new email address or something like that. It's hard to, it seems like email is going to be the last thing they take down. So right now, the email list I have is at sovereignvillageproject.com. I just sent out my first email to that list, actually, so I'll try to get more. I'm going to try to do a monthly email for now, but if we get taken off of YouTube, I'll start doing all of my content. Probably a weekly email, or maybe a little often than that. Skinsey says, how long are you in Nashville for? I'm down in Bellevue. Oh, welcome. Awesome, man. I walked past 50 Broadway, but couldn't go check it out as it is a gun-free zone. It is a gun-free zone. Yet here I am. Enough said. I don't need to get myself in trouble, but I would rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. So when I see a gun-free zone sign, I just think, what a nice sign. What's their enforcement? What are they going to do? They'll kick me out, of course. I'm not certainly going to give up my means of self-defense. And if a place enforces it, then I will not go to that place. I wouldn't even be supporting a dystopian place like this. I just really wanted to do a video here, and there's not that many coffee options up and down Broadway. But Skinsey said, you said you're in Nashville here. If you're down in town tonight, I'll be playing at Layla's, very late last shift, so 9:30 to 1:30 a.m. I just finished my first show, so I'm just working on some design stuff up here at the coffee shop for a couple hours. Doing Facebook Live with y'all, so hope y'all can hear me despite this background noise. But very glad you joined me to kind of like spy, get a little intelligence inside what the vision they have for sustainable development is. This is it. Like I was saying earlier, I made this title facetiously